Welcome to Global Sky Update. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. October 25, 2025. News channels worldwide flash urgent headlines. Chinese Coast Guard uses water cannon on Philippine supply vessel near 2nd Thomas Shoal. Stark images show a massive Chinese ship blasting a smaller Philippine boat with a jet of water. A David and Goliath struggle on the open sea. This isn't fiction, it's the tense reality of the South China Sea, one of the world's most dangerous flashpoints. Tensions are rising, with military patrols, diplomatic protests, and fishermen caught in the crossfire. In Manila, politicians condemn Chinese aggression, waiving the 2016 tribunal ruling that invalidated many of China's claims. Beijing responds, insisting it's defending indisputable sovereignty and accusing the Philippines of illegal intrusion. The world watches, anxious. The U.S. reaffirms its defense treaty with the Philippines, sending a clear message to China. The region feels like a powder keg, one spark away from a larger conflict. Meanwhile, Malaysia's response is strikingly different. No fiery speeches, just carefully worded calls for calm and dialogue. Malaysia, too, has claims in the South China Sea and has faced Chinese harassment. Why isn't Malaysia joining the Philippines in loud defiance? The answer lies in a complex mix of history, economics, and survival. This contrast, Philippine defiance versus Malaysian quiet diplomacy, reveals the tangled web of national interest in the South China Sea. It's not a simple story of good versus evil. Each country must navigate a treacherous path, balancing sovereignty with economic realities. For Malaysia, it's a delicate act to protect territory and resources without provoking its most powerful neighbor and largest trading partner. This isn't weakness, it's pragmatic strategy for stability and prosperity. The South China Sea dispute is a test of national priorities, not just principles. Malaysia's approach is shaped by the need to survive and thrive in a complicated world. Southeast Asia is a mosaic of 10 diverse nations, each with its own history, culture, and politics. Their relationships are layered, partners, rivals, and friends, all at once. Centuries of trade, migration, and colonial legacies have shaped a culture of adaptability and pragmatism. These nations are masters of balancing power, forming alliances and absorbing outside influences while fiercely guarding sovereignty. Economic ties are just as complex. Malaysia's prosperity depends on stable relations with all major partners, especially China. A diplomatic crisis with China could devastate Malaysia's economy. Security arrangements vary. Some, like the Philippines, rely on U.S. treaties. Others, like Malaysia, prefer non-alignment and diplomacy. There's no single response to external threats. Each country calculates its own risks and rewards. In this region, survival means flexibility and careful navigation. The South China Sea is a global economic artery. 1/3 of maritime trade, worth over $3 trillion annually, passes through these waters. Disruption here would send shockwaves through the world economy. Beneath the sea lie vast reserves of oil and natural gas, potential energy independence for surrounding nations. Countries like Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines depend on these resources for growth. The sea is also a vital fishing ground, feeding millions and sustaining coastal communities. But overfishing and territorial disputes threaten these livelihoods. Fishermen are often on the front lines, facing harassment and dwindling catches. Strategically, control of the South China Sea means projecting power across Asia. The U.S. insists on freedom of navigation. China sees control as a security buffer. This clash of interests makes the region a volatile hotspot. The heart of the conflict is overlapping territorial claims. China's sweeping 9-dash line covers up to 90% of the sea, citing historic rights. The Philippines relies on international law, UNCLOS, claiming areas within its 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, including the Spratlys and Scarborough Shoal. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled against China's claims, but Beijing rejected the decision. Malaysia claims parts of the southern South China Sea, based on UNCLOS, and actively develops oil and gas fields there. These claims overlap with China's and with Vietnam and Brunei, creating a tangled, multi-sided dispute. Vietnam claims the Paracel and Spratly Islands, while Brunei asserts rights to its own EEZ. The result? A complex web of overlapping claims, not just a China versus one country issue. Malaysia must balance its interests with several neighbors, not just China. The map is crowded, and every line drawn is contested. These competing claims play out daily on the water. Chinese Coast Guard and maritime militia maintain a constant, intimidating presence, often shadowing or harassing smaller Southeast Asian vessels. For local fishermen, the sight of a massive Chinese ship is terrifying. Access to traditional fishing grounds is often denied. Oil and gas exploration faces similar threats. Malaysian survey ships are routinely confronted by Chinese vessels. These standoffs can last weeks, with both sides deploying ships in tense, silent face-offs. China's gray zone tactics, coercive but just short of war, aim to assert control without open conflict. For Malaysia and others, a military response risks escalation. Doing nothing means losing ground. The daily reality is a grinding contest of nerves and endurance. Every encounter is a test of resolve and restraint. The South China Sea is a chessboard where every move matters. Malaysia's approach is shaped by deep economic and cultural ties with China. China is Malaysia's largest trading partner, supporting millions of jobs and driving growth. Chinese investment, especially through the Belt and Road Initiative, funds major infrastructure projects, like the East Coast Rail Link. These projects are vital for Malaysia's development. A quarter of Malaysia's population is of Chinese descent, creating strong people-to-people connections. This relationship is about more than security. It's economic, social, and cultural. Malaysian leaders must defend sovereignty without risking economic fallout. Open confrontation could mean lost trade, investment, and jobs. Quiet diplomacy is a calculated choice for stability and progress. Malaysia and the Philippines take starkly different paths in the South China Sea dispute. The Philippines opts for open confrontation, public protests, media campaigns, and reliance on its U.S. alliance. It hopes to rally international support and raise the cost for China. But this approach risks entangling the Philippines in great power rivalry. Malaysia, by contrast, practices quiet diplomacy, objecting through private channels, avoiding public escalation. The goal: resolve issues without harming broader economic ties. Malaysian leaders believe loud protests won't change China's behavior but could damage Malaysia's interests. They focus on de-escalation, discreetly modernizing their navy and coast guard. This allows both sides to save face and often achieve practical outcomes. Malaysia manages, rather than solves, the problem, balancing power and priorities. It's a strategy born of pragmatism, not passivity. Each country's approach reflects its unique circumstances. In the South China Sea, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. ASEAN, Southeast Asia's main regional bloc, aims for unity, but struggles over the South China Sea. Consensus is required for action, giving any member a veto. 4 members, Malaysia, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Brunei, have direct disputes with China. Others, like Cambodia and Laos, are close to Beijing. This division weakens ASEAN's ability to take a strong stand. Malaysia champions ASEAN centrality, seeking to bridge divides and keep dialogue alive. The goal: negotiate a binding code of conduct with China to prevent conflict. Progress is slow, with talks dragging on for decades. Critics say China is stalling, but Malaysia sees the process as better than nothing. For Malaysia, ASEAN remains the best hope for peaceful, rules-based management of the dispute. To some, Malaysia's quiet approach looks like betrayal. Why not stand up to China? But Malaysia's strategy is about survival, not siding with Beijing. Its economy depends on China. A diplomatic war could devastate jobs, trade, and development. No responsible government would risk such hardship for its people. Malaysia's leaders balance defending maritime rights with protecting economic lifelines. Quiet, persistent diplomacy has allowed Malaysia to continue vital oil and gas activities and de-escalate standoffs. The goal isn't moral victory, but concrete results. Malaysia isn't choosing China over the Philippines. It's choosing Malaysia. Caught between superpowers, it seeks independence and prosperity. Its strategy is about navigating a shifting world, not betraying neighbors. Malaysia charts its own course, based on its unique interests. In the end, it's a matter of survival in a sea of giants.